Just gonna wait to see if it's recording or not, or streaming. Yeah, looks like looks like it's working. I was gonna work on my other project that I'm working on off stream, but I kind of want to finish this. Not finish, I want to work on it. So I decided to stream again and continue to work on this. And my memory arrived here and I installed the memory, so I might look into that. Look into building the Ethereum node today as well, but I'm not really sure about that because I think it might be complicated. I don't know. And I wanna focus on this stuff here. I also have a sore throat, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna talk a lot. Yeah, but I think hopefully this should do it. I think almost 2 terabytes of memory to run a full node on Ethereum. And I might decide to not run it on Ethereum and run nodes from other chains. I think that might be an interesting idea as well to learn how other chains work. Specifically Cardano and Solana, I think I'm very interested to understand them because I know that their protocol is different. And Cardano was made by a guy that was on Ethereum in the early stages, and then he didn't agree with things. I think it's Charles something, his name, I forgot. But he didn't agree with the way that Ethereum was doing things, and then that's why he created Cardano. So I think there might be a possibility that Cardano is a closer equilibrium of the MEV side of things than Ethereum is, and the evolution of Ethereum is going closer towards Cardano, which I don't know if that's the case, but I'm interested in seeing if that's the case or not. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna put some music and then work on this stuff. Maybe I'll train PyCharm and practice typing as well. Yeah, soon. I forgot where I was. Last thing that I did was get the player ID for the player seats, which is here. I'm gonna use the name as a player ID and see if it contains player 1, player 2, etc. to initialize each player. And what else I was thinking about? Now here I have to see if I will be able to create like this, to initialize the player like this without the values, and then change later. If I can't, it's gonna be a problem. Yeah, but if I do it like this, then I can initialize all the players and then I update the values later. So I think I'm gonna try to run this as it is. Okay, and see what happens. Or maybe I should print something here to see if it works. But I guess the compiler is gonna complain, which I already did, if it doesn't work. Oh, it's name, not names. So I should put the lifetime here. Yeah, so I can't really do that. As I was saying, I think yesterday, I have to do else if statements. Match doesn't work with contains, I think, based on this warning here. Which kind of sucks because else if looks more convoluted. I don't know what that is. That was. That should be on. I don't remember what the difference is in Rust about the single quote and double quotes, but I know that there is one. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna make if else conditions. Uh, oh, I also didn't realize that I had this here. Should be here. Oh, I should delete this actually. Because it's already here. I don't understand why this is giving me an error as well. It's probably because of the return, but it should return a string slice, so maybe it's because of the lifetime. The player name should be a string slice. Oh, it's because I didn't put the lat here. Of course. Player counts, I initialize there. And this should be player probably, but So now at least it seems that this is the only mistake. Oh. So should be like this maybe. Because it is a string. So maybe I'll remove from here. Because I think I declared as string slice player 1 chips. No, it's here. Maybe I should declare it as a string, but whatever. And then the rounds is because I changed later, which include the cards. And that's another thing that I have to think about. I guess I don't need to put the 3 of them, because the street already is gonna determine the flop, and it's gonna determine which streets is it. Yeah, but now I have to think about how I'm gonna get the cards. I think I'll I'll comment this out for now, but let me think. It's also a problem because I'm creating a different round for each action, which is not good. Because the round should be created here. Maybe I would take the round out of the action. but I feel like I should link the two. I need to link the round somehow. That's the problem. Like, which streets is it? But it should be one round for multiple actions, obviously. Oh, since it's a fixed number of rounds, I could just put the rounds, declare the rounds outside here, obviously. I don't think I need to put pre-flop. Yeah. Go back. Streets, cards. Yeah, because the pre-flop doesn't have any cards, so you only need the flop. Flop, turn, and river. So when it's 0, I'm not gonna have any flops, any rounds. But then how do I put the action though? Or maybe I can create a pre-flop and then just make the action equal blank or something like that. Equal an empty string. Or not the action, the streets and the cards. Because the action leads around. And I remember there's also 2 additional ones. Oh, but I guess I can start with this one, which is a pre-flop. Yeah, but that's also pre-flop actually. The round number 0 is just it's just the blinds, and the round 1 is the pre-flop. I guess I'll create the pre-flop and then I'll make the round 0 and round 1 to have the action as the pre-flop, and then I make the cards empty. It's probably the easiest way. I think this way it does make sense to have multiple rounds, because every action needs to be connected to a round. So later on I know how to separate the line, how to create the line based on the action and the street. Okay, what else? Let me see here. I think I'm just gonna see if it runs and then I'm thinking about it. Okay, so I probably need to put parentheses there. But maybe it's something else that is wrong. Possibly uninitialized ones, but because it is here. So I think I'm gonna have to put another one on side, because if I make if round scope and round scope equals 0, I'm gonna have to put round scope on each one because I'm gonna have multiple rounds. So I think the best way is gonna be to put it here, which is always not that good because I'm gonna have a bunch of these else if conditions. But I don't think that there is another way. Or I can put if not, but then it's the same thing. I was gonna say that I can return if there isn't a round here. But it's kind of the same thing. Round scope. And so fuck it, I'm just gonna put it here. And then I'll put this whole thing. It starts getting confusing. Maybe I'll open up VS Code, it's probably better. And I'll download the extension again for Rust. Because of how many brackets I have. How do I see if it's not null? Oh, I think I already used this one. I just forgot. Put some tea here, my stuff. I think soon I'll start training touch typing because I'm a little bit tired already. I think I'll go back and forth between doing that and coding again, so it can last more hours. Yeah, the other option that I have is make it equal to empty. I think that's easier. As I initialize it so that I don't have this problem. I think that's what I'm gonna do because it's easier. First, I'm gonna remove this from here. So maybe I can remove this actually, now that I think about it. Because I'm already checking there. Let's see if it works. Maybe I should initialize as string slice as well because of the checks that I will make. I need to borrow. Yeah, so I think the easiest approach is just to make it as a string there and then change the way that I test, choose string as well. Instead of trying to think about how to deal with the borrowed value there. And this is also an I. See if this works. Well, it's because of the way that I'm expecting there. I think I'll move on to the, VS Code so I can use the Vim stuff again. Fuck. It's probably because I'm not removing the value. I'm not really sure. Because it looks like it works fine for multiple different rounds, so... Fuck. It sucks because this looks like it's gonna be a difficult thing to debug. It's probably adding the values there because I know in the function I'm adding, which will be here. I'm adding to the string there. I'm creating the string and adding to it. So it might be something related to lifetime values, but it might be something else as well because I'm adding here. Or I'm not adding actually. I'm making it equal. So maybe it's not that. Maybe it's the initialization somewhere. Because I'm not making player 1 empty. Yeah, but then I don't see why you wouldn't fail on the first round. No, because it only happens when I encounter the player ID again, the P1 again. So it might be that, but yeah, but that happens after every round, so it can't be that actually. After every hand. So what the hell is going on here? I still wonder how I'm gonna get the cars as well. It's gonna be difficult. And maybe I can use the regex that uses the whatever the name of this symbol here is. Yeah, but I don't know what this mistake here means. I'm trying to think about how do I go about seeing what's wrong. Now here I would have to create all the players as well. Oh, I think I get it. Actions. Oh, maybe not. Trying to think if I should continue to do this or try to fix the thing. Because the rest is all only to add the other players, and then maybe I should try to clean them up first before I add the players in the rounds, and then think about the cards. Yeah, how would I clean them once it reaches players? How can I do that? I think I can delete that. And the thing is, I don't know how to reinitialize this. I think I'm gonna make it equal to each type, but I'm not sure if this is gonna work or not. The first thing that I'm gonna do, and I also don't know if those are the only variables that I'm gonna initialize. Probably not. There's also the cards as well, but maybe not because the cards are part of the objects. So let me remove this for now. I think I'm gonna move to VS Code. Actually, I can open from the... It's here, it's easier. I don't remember what's the shortcut to select multiple different ones. I guess I can do this. Oh fuck. Oh, just realized that I'm leaning on the wrong place. Yeah, it should be here. Yeah, but doing this, I don't think is gonna initialize the value. And that's the problem. And this one's correct. but I don't think this is gonna work. I guess if I do like this, I don't need this line as well, because this one already marks the beginning and the end of the hands. And then over here I will append the action to the player. Yeah, but how do I know? Oh, I have the player here as well. Yeah. Maybe if I just reinitialize everything the way that it was, it works. It's still fucking it up. It's probably because one of the patterns is incorrect. Maybe I should console log, not console log, print. That's what I'm gonna do next, I think. Because I think he's panicking because of my stuff, the panic that I put here. So I think I'm gonna print here. Print and panic. And that's what I'm gonna do. And the only thing that I don't know is what should I print here? Maybe the pattern. I think this thing here. That's the problem. Um, so maybe the easiest one is to print the pattern instead. Pattern in the line, maybe. Hmm. It doesn't print anything. What if I comment this? Yeah, it makes sense, but then the problem is that I don't know if the problem is here or if the problem is something else, and the mistake that I'm getting there is something else. It's from something else. Because it runs fine, but then there's this problem. If I'm not adding anything, I don't see why it would be overflow unless I'm rewriting some values, and that's what's causing the overflow. And it happens at the same spot every time, so the only thing that comes to my mind that makes sense is that one of these values is different in some situation that I didn't think about. And when I'm calling the function, I'm passing the pattern, and it's giving me that for some reason. Remove the jacket that I'm wearing. Maybe is the numbers there something with the parser? This function here? In the way that it's parsing? And 46. Oh, it's this line. Oh, I get it. Yeah, it makes sense. It's because I'm not cleaning this properly, I think. Yeah, there's nothing. Let me see. Where did I put this actually? Oh, it's here. Huh. Yeah, so this here is not working, I guess. This doesn't reinitialize the variables. Because otherwise this wouldn't be passing the amount of players. I think I have somewhere here something about this. I'm gonna look it up. I think it was in C++ info. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so unsigned should be more than enough. 255 values. I can obviously make this equal to initial values, but then I don't think that is good. Because I want the initial condition to be exactly the same as this one. So what I'm trying to figure out is how to create the values without the value here, if that makes sense. Just reinitialize them without adding, without making them equal to a value. In this case I can do it because in this case I can do it as well. But in the other ones I'm not sure how to do that. Maybe I'll just make everything empty. Might be just easier than search a bunch. Wait, do I actually need to do this? Now that I'm thinking about it. Because I'm already changing the value here each time, so maybe it doesn't matter actually. Yeah, it only matters for values that I'm not gonna reassign on each iteration. So round scope and player count, I think. Because the rest, I'm just gonna, every time that it reaches one condition, it's just gonna rewrite the previous one, I think. Since I'm using the same name. Now let me erase everything and then I will see if it gives me the same issue here now that I'm reassigning here the player counts. So this. Hey, there we go. Looks like it's working out. And I think as long as I initialize one by one, only initialize a value once through the loop, then I think I'm good. Because they're gonna be reinitialized anyway. Nice. So now what I'm gonna do is add the rounds, and I think I'm gonna just cut this. I'm gonna add the rounds and the actions and the rounds here and the players here. Probably add the players first. I think I can get rid of this line if I need it, then I'll put it later. Yeah, so pretty much here I'm gonna initialize all the players for the round, and I have the player count, and then it's gonna be tricky with the round scope 1, so I can get the positions correctly, and I have to think about that. And after that I think it's easy. Unless the only thing that I think might be problematic is that if when I pass the players to a vector for each hand, a vector of hands, then knowing if they are gonna, let's say, survive, or if there are gonna be problems with the lifetime, because I want all of them to be on a vector, obviously, all the hands. Other thing that I can do as well is pass this into a function, another function, so this one is cleaner once I'm finished with the loop, because that way I separate the logic for each one. So this handles the logic for each hand, this thing here. Then with the logic of the hand, then I do the other stuff. But I'm not sure if that's necessary, because I don't think I'm gonna do a lot of stuff in this file. Anyway, after I have all the hands and the final file, let's say, I'll probably move to the pile one. This one. Oh, Brad back. So let's add the players now. Copy this. VS Code feels so much better than Python for this. Maybe I'll install the Rust Analyzer, but I remember installing that and I didn't like it because it gives too many warnings and you can't, or I didn't look into how to remove them. It's kind of annoying when you're trying to build stuff. Because the way that I'm looking at it now is I just want to get it working as fast as I can, let's say, or in the easiest way that I can. Then after that I think about optimizations and things like that. Otherwise I just spend too much time thinking and then I don't do anything. Well, actually this is the wrong one that I was gonna do, but whatever. The maximum amount of rounds I think is 4. Because it starts from 0. Let me think. Yeah, I was gonna do this one first. Whatever. 3. 4. Oh, actually, yeah, now that I already did it, but this was a mistake because I should have finished this one first, because it didn't append the actions to the player. But this is gonna be tricky because how I'm gonna know? I guess each action has a player as well, so I think that's how I'm gonna do it. I can use the name value. That amount for action. to essentially do the same thing that I'm doing here. Because the name is gonna be the same. Oh, but that's the problem. Oh, no, but it actually works because I'm analyzing line by line, so... I was gonna say there's gonna be multiple players per round, but I forgot that I'm actually analyzing the action line. So... So I have the name, the value of the bat. Maybe I should put bats instead of value, actually. And this doesn't matter that I'm re-initializing because I'm gonna append the action to the player, to the struct of the player. So line 0 is pre-flop, line 1 is pre-flop, 2 is flop. This one is turn. This one's river. And now let me think. I need to append. That's the thing. How I'm gonna know which player to append the action? I'm gonna filter by the name, but then how do I do that? Player 1. Oh, I can use the name of the variable, obviously. And then actions. I think I'm just gonna use the dots. It's probably the dots. And so player 1 actions. Player 1 dot actions dot push. I think it's push that I use. Actions push. Push AC. Yeah, the thing is I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to use match. But I think I can because the name is the same. player one dot name. Yeah, but then it's gonna complain about the dots. That's the problem. Maybe I can make it equal to a variable. Not sure. But then do I need to use the whole thing? I guess I could just pass Y, but I don't want to match the whole struct, that's the problem. Just want to match the name. The other problem is the equality because of the type. Oh, I can just use these two dots probably. Okay, so yeah, but the thing I'm confused as well is, oh, this is probably different. Because it's matching this with the type. That's not what I want to do. Because I'm matching a different thing with the struct name. And the idea is obviously to move this to here. And then because I don't want to write everything there. So I can match each one instead of writing a bunch of if-else conditions. And I think this one is gonna work. I access the actions, then I push the action to the actions. The round is inside of the action, so. Oh, and the position. I also forgot about that. So ideally, I can also match on the position. How I'm gonna know the position? Oh, the position is based on the value. And maybe it's not a good idea to do the position based on the value, because it's a lot better if I can, yeah, scratch the value actually. Because if I have hands of 50 and L, then the values are going to be different and it's going to screw up the thing. So it's much better to make the hands based on the action sequence, I think. I don't understand these types as well, if they mean anything. It's gonna have to be based on the action ID. So if the action ID is 1, then I make it small blind. Yeah, but this one is easier, I think. So I'm gonna do this one first. You can just match here, it's gonna be a number. And if I make 1, then player 1 dot position. It's gonna be, I think I'm gonna put on caps lock, small blind. Where is it? Yeah, here. And yeah, now it's gonna be the difficult part. Oh, actually, this one I only have the 2 and 1. What the fuck? Because it's the round 0. I want to ensure I choose the big blind. But then that's the problem because I need the player first. Fuck. Yeah, so I think the best way is probably do, if it is possible, to do one match instead of the other. Oh, but maybe I don't need the match actually, the action ID match. Oh, actually I do need the action, the ID because it's gonna read line by line. So for each player I have to put the match. And then I need to think about all the variations of actions. Up until... maybe not all, it's not gonna be... Yeah, the issue is that it's gonna be depending on the amount of rounds. That's the other thing. So maybe it's not better to use a match, it's probably better to use a for loop, and then I loop through the... Yeah, but this is on the other round. This one is always going to be the same, because there are only 2 actions on the round scope 0. But for this one I'm going to loop and then I subtract each time. Or I assign the position each time, based on the round scope, which is the amount of players that... Not the round scope, the... whatever variable I use for that. Sure, I forgot. Player count, yeah, based on player count. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot easier, so I just make the loop and then No, but that's actually... Let me think. Yeah, actually I don't need to assign the players using the round scope. Oh, but yeah, that's the problem. Because if I do it here each time, then the issue is that I'm gonna reassign the value multiple times. Maybe that's not a problem because it's gonna be the same anyway. But I'm thinking about now if there's a way to do it. Maybe I use this pattern here and then I assign the positions based on the pattern because they don't really... Oh, but yeah, it depends on the action. Actually, I need the actions to know the names of the players. That's the problem. So I have to do it on round 1. Yeah, so probably matching is better than the for loop, otherwise it's gonna be worst, I think. because I'm already looping, I'm already going over line by line, so probably better to match each line. And then I'm gonna have to subtract the round number. Not the round number, the player count one by one. Yeah, but let me focus on this again and think about it. I was seeing if I can match based on the struct. It's kind of a tricky thing to search for. Yeah, maybe the if statement is better to do it actually. Hmm. The other thing that I can do is initialize and try that way as well. So initialize, but that seems slightly inefficient, I think. Like make let player one p1 equals the player one name, player one dot name, and then I match based on the p1. Yeah, I'm gonna try that. Because the problem if I do a bunch of if-else statements is that I think it's just gonna get too confusing. Because I'm gonna have to redo the logic again and again on the other ones. Or maybe not, because I'm only gonna get the player's name and position, the player's position on round 0 and round 1. Hmm. I think I'm gonna take a break to train typing. and forget about that a little bit. And maybe I should write down here before that comments so I remember what I was doing. Yeah, let me think about this as well before, because I'm gonna, instead of doing like this, I'm gonna do it, this thing here instead of this, I think. Yeah, but then it seems very weird if I do one match for each match of this one. That's the thing. I'm gonna leave it like this for now. And I leave it like this, but I'll think about it. Damn. Holy shit. I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah, but it wasn't by much. It was only by probably less than one yeah, the previous one was 149.60. So by 0.40 that I beat. Crazy. Usually after that I just do worse because you're focusing on that again. I feel like if I try to increase the average instead of the highest score, probably be a lot better to practice like this.
Daily rotation, bittersweet, could yet have some fears. What will we make of all this? Which ideas will survive? Beyond the warm, reminisce feel of being alive.
Fuck. I knew it was good there, but wasn't gonna make it. Some words are just harder to hit, so it really depends on the text as well. And obviously, you should be. I'm training to be fast at anything. Oh fuck. I knew it was very close there because I know that 150 is the end of the last line there. But I messed it up at the end. Oh fuck. Right back. I guess I'm just gonna go the easy way. So I don't spend too much time thinking about this. I'm gonna do the thing there. But this here feels redundant, so yeah, but I don't think that's the, because otherwise I'm gonna use an if statement as well to check the number of the action, and I have to check for both players because I'm analyzing line by line, so either one of them can be. Oh, actually I have to do it for all of the players now that I think about it. Because any player can be the. Yeah, that's the issue. There must be a better way to do this because I'm just gonna be repeating myself a bunch of times. I'm just gonna try what I'm thinking about. The first thing that I'm gonna do is remove this from here. Actually should be below. Yeah. I think the match I have to do either way, probably. Maybe it makes sense to separate this into another function and then just call the function. I'm trying to avoid to do that because I know it's gonna be annoying with the types. So what I'm thinking is about doing this, and then if it doesn't work, I just create another variable outside and make it equal to this, and make the variable type equal to the string slice. Or to string, because this is gonna return a string. I forgot that I have to change everything. Yeah, now that I think about it, I'm gonna have to put this into a function, I think. It's just a lot better because I'm gonna have to do this on the other round as well. I'm gonna match. Oh, but the problem is that... Oh, actually then I can match with more actions, which would also be helpful because I can do only one match then with a bunch of different actions instead of doing separate matches. I think that's what I'm gonna do actually. I'm resisting it because I know it might give me more problems with lifetimes and references and things like that, but I think it's the best approach probably. I can just call find position or something like that. Find position. But then what would I do with the action? another thing that I have to think about. No, I would have to send the player as object, but then it gets really complicated. Because if I append the action inside of the local function by passing the player object, I think it's gonna get pretty tricky with the lifetimes and the references. Maybe we can return the position and the action from the function, or the player. I can return the value. That makes sense. It would be a lot easier. So I return a value, and then based on the value, I match the value and return the name of the player, return which player is gonna be. Or do I add whatever I need to add. Yeah, that's gonna be the easiest way, I think. So I'm gonna have to make the function. Yeah, the thing that I don't know is the lifetime, but I guess the compiler is gonna complain, obviously. So when it does, I'm gonna figure out what I have to do. Well, let me copy this stuff from here there first. Copy this. Size this. Then I'm gonna think about yeah, I think I can return true values out of the function. So the first value that I'm gonna pass is player name, I think. And then I need to compare. Actually, I don't need to. I was gonna say I need to compare with the players, but I don't need to. Yeah, I think that's all I need to pass. Then based on the name, so this is gonna be a string, I think. String slice, so I'm gonna fix here. I'm also gonna delete this stuff so it doesn't get, or maybe not actually, because this is gonna be the same for each one. The round and the action. It's just the 1 and 2 that it changes. So I think I will leave it like this. I'm gonna put this. So I'm passing the player name. So I'm gonna get this current player, and then I'm gonna match, or do the if-else statements. Yeah, I think the if-else is easier. This. Trying to think if there's a better name than ID, so I don't get it twisted with everything else. I'm gonna leave it like this for now. I was actually gonna start from 1. Or maybe actually I don't need to put the value actually. So I need to find the player and the position. Yeah, position. Oh, so I need to pass the action ID as well. I think it's better to make this as a string, but I'm gonna do string slice initially to see if I can. And I think the reason why I think it's better to do as a string, because I think it's gonna give me the same mistake that I got here when I had to initialize this variable, because I'm gonna be returning something that doesn't exist, I think, at the end. Yeah, so I think this is correct. So now all I have to do is copy this. For each one. I should be doing these actually, changing like this. Now what's the idea of the hero? I guess it doesn't matter that much. I'm gonna put a number just because it's easier. I'm gonna put 6. Nice. Caps lock. So P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. Yeah, now that's the thing. I'm gonna think about the actions here because I can make the... First, let me think about what I'm gonna return. I'm gonna try to return the value, or I think I have to think about the type as well, because I don't think I can return it like this. But I'm gonna leave it like that for now. I think I'm gonna return ID and position like this. Yeah, but then that's the thing, because I don't know. I'm gonna have to call the value differently there, here. It's probably better to initialize the vector first and then append to the vector and then return the vector. I'm trying to think what happens when I don't have what I'm gonna put as default value, because in the round 1 I can have more actions than positions in some situations, which means that I'm not gonna have the match here. The way that I'm thinking about doing is putting all the actions for all the positions, so 3, 4, 5, etc. And the reason why that's gonna work is because it starts off with the gun player, then middle position, cutoff, etc. Oh, actually, the thing that changes as well is the amount of players. So maybe I can't do it like this, because then I can't separate by action ID. Yeah, fuck. I guess I can put some logic outside of the function on the round 1, so that when I have the number of players, when the number of players changes is less than 6, I just decrease the actions and I rearrange based on the matching here. I think that's gonna work. But it's slightly annoying because I have to think about it gets kind of confusing. So I'm gonna have to think about that on the round 1 again. But I think it just looks better, because then obviously I don't need to write all of this stuff on the main function. And then I use the ID to decide which player it is. Yeah, a match against the ID. I think I'm gonna do that now. So on the match, ID and position 0 1. I guess no, actually I have to open the action. Let's see. Yeah, here I'm matching with the ID because the ID is not the same as the action. And it's push as well. I'm trying to think if I can use this one instead, but I don't think I can. Can't I use the action ID to match? Oh no, because the action ID is not gonna give me the name. First I'm filtering based on the name. So it's not the same thing. Yeah, I get it. Kind of tired, so... Yeah, I think this works. Oh, the round one, I think the best thing that the best thing to do is I can just use the player count, and then I make the condition. So if player counts greater than 6 or 7, then I don't run the function. Because the number of positions is going to be the same, obviously. The maximum number. Because I'm thinking about how I'm going to call the function as the lines go. Here, because of the IDs. I'm going to put like this. And this is the action, right? So the number of the action. And here I have to think about how I'm gonna do this. I think I need to do... Actually, that's a good idea. To use this one instead. Yeah, so the first one is always small blind, the second action is always big blind. Then these ones are gonna change depending on how many players. That's the tricky part. When there are 6 players, then the maximum is 6, so I can make the condition if there are less than 6 players, then I pass a different action. Yeah, if there are more than 6, or actually, yeah, I only call the function if the action ID is less or equal to 6, and if they are less than 6, or if it is equal to 6, then I call the function with the normal ID. If the player count is equal to 6, and if it's less, then I do the math based on how many players. So it's gonna be 6 minus the number of players. But then I have to decide. Well, I can increase the action by 1 actually. I think that's gonna work. Because I want to skip, when there are less players, I want to skip the beginning positions. So I'm starting from the second one. If there are 5 players, I want to go from the big blind to middle position. And skip the early position. I think this works the way that I'm thinking about it. I should probably write down somewhere so I remember. And this thing here also I'm always sure that's gonna complain about it, and I'm gonna have to create a vector and then append this to the vector and return the vector. But I'm trying to think about what I'm gonna write as a comment so I don't forget what I'm thinking about. I'm returning the ID and the position. ID and position. I guess I can use the same one as well, because it doesn't matter if I overwrite. So just so I don't have to create a different variable, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Then I put mute here. Yeah, so if it is equal to 6, then let me think. Yeah, because I need to count the actions as well. I think in Rust that's how you do AND. Yeah, so this is correct. Yeah, but then that's the problem. I can't. I'm not gonna put the condition here. It's not that hard, but it is confusing because I have to think about multiple different scenarios. So what I'm thinking about is the action ID is gonna be lower. No, actually I can put lower than 6. No. Because it can be any value between 6 and the number of players. And the value is gonna change. And depending on how many players, I wanna stop at that value. So mute stop is gonna be equal to player count minus action ID, but I'm trying to think what is gonna be the best way to create this variable here, which is gonna be a flag variable to call the function for to get in the position of the players. What is gonna be the best way to do it so that here so that it's easier to understand the logic when I pass the ID. And I'm thinking about whether or not it's worth it to make it dependent on the action ID, because the action ID is gonna change each round. So then I have to think about what if this value becomes negative, which is gonna become if the actions are increase a lot more. And maybe there's a better way to do it just with the player count. Yeah, player counts. Yeah, essentially I need to figure out how many IDs should skip. It's gonna be equal to player counts. Just 6 minus player counts. That's the thing. So if I have 4 players, then I'm gonna skip by 2. So go from the big blind, so the ID becomes +2. the one that I'm gonna pass. That was the thing that I was starting to think about, to think. Just trying to make sure if this is correct or not. Because how I'm gonna get the actual ID, I think it's ID action. Let me think. In this case, for example. So in this case, this would be the. You are supposed to be the early position, but since there are 2 players missing, it's gonna be the cutoff. The action is 3, should be 5, so it's +2. So action is an ID plus 6 minus player count. Action ID plus 6 minus player counts. Problem is what variable name I'm gonna put here, so I don't get confused. I think that makes sense, but there is a chance that I made a mistake here. Because like I said, it's not that complicated, but it's confusing. Especially when there's a lot of other things as well that I'm thinking about, which involve everything. And at this point I should probably run the thing because I know I'm gonna get a lot of mistakes and I'm gonna have to fix them. But I'm just trying to see if there's any other thing that, or what other things that I have to do, and if there's any other thing that here that might be good to think about before as well. Yeah, I think the round 0 is is fine because I don't need. Obviously, I would have to do this stuff here as well. The matching here. The only reason why I don't think that this part is worth pushing to the other function is that I think I'm gonna have a lot of problems with the player type like passing the player and then appending, pushing this to the vector of the player on the other function because it's a local function. So I think there's gonna be too many problems with lifetime values and references, and I don't want to spend a bunch of time trying to fix that. So I think this way it becomes more simple. Yeah, I think this part seems correct, at least for now. And then I would have to copy this stuff on this one as well, 2 times here. Which is not that good, obviously. It would be better if this was on the other function. But for the reasons I talked about, I don't think I'm gonna do that. And I think this is correct. This thing here. The good thing about this is that this is an unsigned integer, so if this becomes negative, I'm gonna know that I made a mistake. I'm just gonna put like this to make sure. Even though it doesn't make any difference, but yeah, I think it's just, it looks easier, it looks better, easier to understand what's going on. And now, before I was thinking about decreasing the player count. That's the thing. The thing that I think I changed here in my mind. Because I was thinking about, as I go over the actions, I decrease the player count, so I know that. So I get the correct position. But now that I realize that actually it doesn't matter because the actions are always going to be the same, the position is always going to be the same based on the action. Because it's sequential, and then it only matters in the first actions for each player. So I can make it dependent on the action I did. And this stops the action to being greater than. Because there is this conditions here. Maybe this is wrong, actually. Yeah, I have a feeling, but I need to think about it. Let me think this case here. So the action that I'm gonna pass needs to be 5, so the player counts 4, so 2, 5, that's correct. But what about this here? So it's gonna be 2, the action I did is 1. Yeah, it needs to be 4, so this is incorrect. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think I need this condition actually. Now let me think. What happens if the action number is 6? Yeah, I wanted to stop when the player counts, when the action ID is equal to player count minus 6. Yeah, an action ID minus is equal to 0. Yeah. Yeah, let me think. Minus 6 minus player count is equal to 0. Or is difference greater than 0? Greater or equal, probably. Yeah, so let's see if there are 4 players, comes true. I think the other way is probably easier to understand. So 6 minus player counts, because it's the amount of actions that I'm skipping. So if it was equal to 6 before, it has to be up to 6. Action ID has to be up to 6. And it's gonna be plus 2 on each one. Or not plus 2 actually. Plus 6 minus player counts. Yeah, position ID has to be greater. It should be at most 6, equal to 6. So if I isolate be greater than 6 or smaller than 6, smaller or equal to 6. So player count smaller or equal to action ID. But that doesn't make sense. Oh, actually it does make sense. Because I'm upgrading based on the... Oh, this part doesn't make sense actually. Because this... Oh no, the action ID changes each time. That's what the difference. So this is just the spread between the current amount of players and the maximum, which is 6. And that's how much I'm gonna shift to the right. And that's what I'm doing here. So the action increases each time. So this increases by the spread. And this is correct because once the action ID is greater than the player count, then it's gonna reach more than 6 when I call the function. So I think this is correct. I'm gonna practice some typing because maybe I'll copy this stuff first. and then I'm gonna do on both of them, I think. I think the indentation here is incorrect. Okay. Yeah, I think now is correct, but it's probably gonna complain a lot because of things I forgot. And then I don't think I need to do this anywhere else. Oh. I'm tripping. I think I copied in the wrong place. Let's go. No, 0. Oh yeah, it's correct. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so I won't need to do this on the other rounds because they... I'm gonna have all the positions on the first and the second round. So it's not a problem that I'm repeating this bunch here. Not that big of a problem. Obviously, it would be better if I had that on the function, but it's whatever. The other rounds, I think I only need to get the street and the action. And the betting amount, obviously. Yeah, which is part of the action already. Then after that, I think it's pretty much done. And then after I have the hand, at the end, oh yeah, that's probably why I would need this. Actually, I think I already have here. Yeah, I'm gonna do it on this one. So before I initialize or I clean the values, append it to vector outside of loop. Yeah, so after it gets here, I create a new hand. Let me think. Yeah, I'm gonna make a variable here, a flag variable, so that the first iteration when I don't have any values, I don't create the hand, but after that I create it. Yeah, but then on this one I create the hand and I append all the information to the vector and clean the values later. Or I don't need to clean the values because they are gonna be different once it hits this point again in the lines. I think I'll be right back, and then when I come back I'm gonna practice more touch typing before I test this stuff. Or I might stop streaming after that as well. I'll be right back. Let me run this for a bit, actually. Not for a bit, let me run it and see what happens, and then I'll just, practice typing, and then I'm gonna be done for today. So the interesting, it didn't give me any error on the other one. 0. I actually have to change on all of them. It's kind of annoying. I don't think I can use this to repeat. I'll do it like this. Yeah, I should have tested before, so I don't run into this problem of having to change everything. Come on, delete first. Now I do this. Position 0. And it's returning a tuple instead of the list, which is fine. If it works, I'm gonna leave it like this, obviously. This music is trash. Oh, there's the other one as well. I think I forgot the semicolon at the end on the other ones. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, I think what's happening is that the thing that I was talking about before. Let me redo everything. Yeah, so what I have to do here, let me see. Which player? Yeah, so is ID first and then position later. Oh, maybe I can't put both of them on the same vector because they have different types. Hmm. I don't know actually what's the best data structure for that, if it's a tuple or a vector. I guess I'll do that later actually. Should be pretty simple to figure out. Then once I do this, then I think I can access by index outside of the function. And I'm gonna append here both of them. And then here I return ID and position. That's the plan. But I think I'm gonna do this off stream. I'm gonna practice some typing and then I'm gonna stop here, I think. Hopefully I can finish this off stream today. And hopefully everything works. I think I'm gonna do the hands as well off stream. And the vector to append the hands. And then after that, if I'm able to save the file successfully, then I can start thinking about how I'm gonna communicate with file to create the simulations and to get the statistics and node lock and all the kind of stuff. It's gonna take a very long time because I know that it takes a lot of time to create simulations in Pile. So I'm gonna have to find compromises on that probably. And that should be very challenging, I think. I think it's gonna be the most challenging part. Of how to find the optimal amount of simulations based on the variance of breath sizes in the sample size. I think I'm gonna stop here actually. I'm gonna stop and I'll probably, I don't know when I'm gonna stream actually. The other thing that I obviously have to do, and then I've been talking about, is to create my own node. So I'm probably gonna stream when I'm gonna do that. And I also want to finish this because I'm curious about, I want to build the simulations and I want to see the percentages. I'm curious. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. So I might stream very soon. But I might also work on the other project that I have, which there's a lot of stuff to do as well. So yeah, I'm not sure. But I'll stop here and I'll think I'll do some of this stuff uh, off stream as well. So see you then.